I stared at her, the words still echoing in my mind like a cruel joke. I invited my ex for Christmas. If you loved me, you'd get it. First I thought she was kidding. But then I saw the way her lips curled into that defensive smirk she wore whenever she was about to justify something she already knew was wrong. That was the moment I realized my wife, the woman I'd spent 8 years building a life with, was slowly becoming a stranger in our own home. Christmas had always been our thing. We decorated the house together, drank mulled wine, and watched old movies in our pajamas. But this year something felt off. Sarah had been distant for weeks, glued to her phone, hiding smiles behind the screen, saying she was just catching up with friends. I tried to ignore it. I told myself marriage went through phases. But when she dropped the "I invited my ex" bomb over dinner, I felt something inside me crack. Her ex, Mark, wasn't just anyone. He was the ex. The guy she'd almost married before me. The one she still mentioned sometimes like a ghost that never really left. "Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "You can't be serious. Why would you invite him?" She set her fork down, eyes calm but cold. "Because we're adults, Daniel. We've both moved on. He's in town for the holidays, and it would be rude not to include him. Besides, it's Christmas. Don't make this weird." I laughed bitterly. "Don't make this weird? You're asking your husband to spend Christmas dinner with the guy you used to sleep with." She sighed, shaking her head as if I was the unreasonable one. "If you loved me, you'd trust me. You'd get it." That phrase, that manipulative little line, it hit me like a slap. If you loved me, you'd get it. For years, I had bent over backward for her, taken extra shifts to pay for her art classes, moved cities for her job, swallowed my pride every time she flirted a little too much with someone at a party. And now she was testing my love like it was some kind of loyalty exam. The days leading up to Christmas were silent and cold. I barely spoke. She pretended nothing was wrong, humming Christmas songs while wrapping gifts, scrolling through her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. Then I saw it. While she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Normally, I respected her privacy, but trust only works both ways. And mine had already been trampled. The message preview read, "Mark, can't wait to see you again. Just like old times." My chest tightened. I scrolled up, my hand shaking, and there it was. Weeks of messages full of inside jokes, late-night heart emojis, and a photo she'd sent of herself in the dress I'd bought her for our anniversary. And the worst part? She'd signed one message. "Hope he doesn't notice how happy I am lately." Something inside me died reading that. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to think. Rage was too easy. I wanted something smarter. Something that would make her realize just how deep her betrayal cut. So I planned my own version of Christmas. When she asked if I was okay, I told her I was. I even helped her set the table and decorate the tree. I played along, smiling through gritted teeth. On Christmas Eve, she slipped into a red dress, looking radiant and smug. "You'll see, Daniel," she said softly, touching my arm. "Tonight will prove we can all be mature about this." "Sure," I said. "Mature." Mark arrived right on time, tall, charming, with that easy grin that used to make me insecure. He greeted me like an old friend, hand extended. I shook it, firmly enough to make him flinch. Dinner was a performance. Sarah laughed too loudly at his jokes. He complimented her cooking. They reminisced about their college days while I sat there, invisible, smiling politely. But I wasn't just sitting there. I had my own plan unfolding quietly in the background. A week earlier, I discovered something interesting while scrolling through our shared cloud account. Sarah had used my login to back up her photos, including the ones she'd sent to Mark. And among them were a few that could ruin her perfect little trust me act. So during dinner, I excused myself to the kitchen to grab dessert. In reality, I sent an email. Subject: "Merry Christmas from Sarah and Mark." Attached the photos. Recipients: her parents, her friends, her coworkers. Was it petty? Maybe. But when someone demolishes your heart, you stop caring about moral high ground. I came back with the pie and poured everyone wine. Sarah was glowing, unaware of the digital grenade I just launched. "So," Mark said, raising his glass, "to old memories and new beginnings." "To endings," I corrected, my smile thin. Sarah frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" I looked her straight in the eyes. You'll find out soon enough. The silence after that was heavy. She knew something was wrong but couldn't quite place it. She laughed awkwardly, tried to change the subject. I played along. 15 minutes later, her phone buzzed once. Then again. And again. Her smile faded. She glanced at the screen and froze. Her face drained of color. Her eyes darted toward me wide with horror. What did you do?" she whispered. Mark looked confused. "Sarah? Everything okay?" She stood up suddenly, clutching her phone. "We need to talk. Now." I leaned back in my chair, sipping my wine. "No need. Everyone's seen what kind of talks you've been having." She opened her mouth, then closed it again. Tears welled in her eyes. "Daniel, please, you don't understand." "Oh, I understand perfectly," I said quietly. "You invited your ex for Christmas because you wanted to see how far you could go before I broke. Congratulations. You found out." She reached for my hand, desperate. "I was lonely. You've been distant. I just wanted to feel." "Wanted to feel what?" I snapped. "Wanted to feel wanted? You could have talked to me, Sarah. Instead, you went to him." Mark stood, looking uncomfortable. I should go." "Yeah," I said coldly. "You probably should have stayed gone years ago." When the door closed behind him, she collapsed on the couch, sobbing. I didn't comfort her. I just watched. 4 years I'd been the fixer, the forgiver, the one who patched every tear she made in our marriage. But that night I realized you can't rebuild something when the foundation is rot. "Daniel," she whispered. "I ruined everything." "Yeah," I said softly. "You did." She looked up, tears streaking her face. "Can we ever?" "No," I cut her off. "Merry Christmas, Sarah." Then I walked upstairs, packed a bag, and left. I spent that night in my car, parked near the lake where we'd once had our first date. Snow fell quietly, blanketing everything in white, cleansing, pure. I watched it through the windshield, feeling the kind of silence that comes after a storm. Painful but freeing. The next morning I checked my phone. Dozens of messages, apologies, calls begging me to come back. I deleted them all. My revenge wasn't just the email. It was walking away. For good. Because sometimes the most epic revenge isn't destroying someone's life. It's letting them live with the ruins of what they destroyed themselves.